Welcome back everyone to another video. It's been a few days, I know, but Starfield and Baldur's Gate has been doing the rounds and the fans on both sides have been kind of, well, I guess on one side really, has been going crazy by starting to mock the other side by saying Baldur's Gate is going to be Game of the Year. Now, of course, Baldur's Gate has been doing remarkably well. It shows that if you make a good game, people will buy it, people will play it. And it looks like Baldur's Gate has started off amazingly. We'll see some numbers in a bit, but the gist of it is more and more people are asking for Starfield to be on PlayStation. And now that the realization is starting to set in that Starfield won't be on PlayStation, they have started to mock Xbox users by saying that Baldur's Gate is going to tip it for Game of the Year, and that Baldur's Gate is a bigger game, and the fact that Baldur's Gate is a timed exclusive for PlayStation. Now, this has also kind of garnered up some interest because it's really funny how Larian Studios has been saying that, they don't have the resources or time to actually do this, yet they actually are a 450 man studio, or man and woman, I guess. Don't want to be prejudicial here, but also, they are regarded by their CEO as a AAA studio. So this isn't some small indie studio that's doing this, as was previously assumed. This is actually a pretty big studio that's actually going out their way and delivering a really cool game. So one does have to wonder, this Series S split screen situation doesn't really have any merit. Now, they said that, the Series S was having problems with split screen and that they couldn't really get around it, and because of the parity clause, they can't release it on the Xbox, and it's now being pushed to 2024. Now, one has to wonder, why is it being pushed out so far? That's a long time. Now, if you ask me, this is a timed exclusive from PlayStation. This parity thing that's come about is a whole bunch of BS, and it's basically designed to give PlayStation that timed exclusivity. I assume at some point, maybe Baldur's Gate will actually go under the wing of Sony Studios. Who knows? But I genuinely don't believe that there is any issues with the split screen for the Series S. Now, I do know that some people were citing that there's memory issues and developers are saying that they can't stand the Series S, yada, yada, yada. I don't really believe that, honestly. The simple fact is, Medium was running fine on the Series S. It did drop the resolution down to 900p, or is it 850p? Something stupid like that. But at the end of the day, that had two games running at the same time, because that's how it was programmed. So if they can do it, there's no reason why Baldur's Gate, which I'm sorry, doesn't graphically look that amazing, can't do it. Especially when you're running it at 1080p, or even in areas where it drops down to 900p. The textures that are loading aren't that vast in order to fill up the RAM spaces, so honestly, even if they had to drop it from 1080p down to 900p in order to get it to work in split screen, I can't see that being a problem. So to me, the whole situation with Baldur's Gate being, a problem on the Series S, I don't think it actually is. I know the developers are going to cry that it is, and power to them. Only they know the truth. And I know I may get some backlash for this in the comment section, and feel free to comment how you want. But the reality is, in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, not a fact, there is nothing wrong with the version of the Series S version. It is a bogus piece of information that is given out to delay the game until 2024. Can you imagine delaying it for 6 months? Well, more than 6 months for split screen. Come on, that's ludicrous. If that doesn't scream timed exclusive, purposefully timed exclusive, you tell me what is. But obviously, the PlayStation fanboys are now running rampant with this by saying, haha, we've got Baldur's Gate and you don't. Well, joke's on you punks, because I've got a PC and I can play it wherever I want. So, I can even play it on the go with my Steam Deck. But it is what it is, right? But the news does continue, so let's get on with the actual twittage, as it were. But before I do, If you've made it this far, do consider dropping a like and subscribe. You can clearly see that your views and your subs and your likes have afforded me to get a haircut. Don't make it grow again. Show your support and keep me well groomed. Right, on with the video. I've got a bunch of stuff here that is actually involving Killer Instinct and, of course, Baldur's Gate. You've got this idiot here called X-Fool who basically has not played Baldur's Gate 1, has not played Baldur's Gate 2, is celebrating that he's going to play Baldur's Gate 3, even though he actually probably doesn't even know what type of game it is. Pretty much a tabletop style game, point and click. Though it does work with a controller, as I found out, and it apparently works amazingly well with the Steam Deck, which is great because that's where I'm probably going to be playing it. But I've seen a bunch of these posts where people were saying, I don't care if I've never played Baldur's Gate 1 or Baldur's Gate 2. And it's clear that they're not even going to be playing Baldur's Gate 3. Because, guess what? The only thing they care about is trying to have that gotcha moment that they have Baldur's Gate and the rest don't. And I think it's pretty sad. But, you know, console wars is a thing. And over here, you can see the exchange between Ozymandias. He's basically saying, I'm going to be playing Starfield and Baldur's Gate. And this dude here is saying, so am I. So he's asking for his basic PlayStation ID just to prove that he's actually going to play it. And he refuses to give it because it's all air. This dude over here is not going to play Baldur's Gate for any more than 30 seconds. And that will be, even if he does purchase it, which I don't even think he'll be doing that, he will not do it. But it's all open air to try and get that gotcha one-up. It's pretty sad. But as you can see here from Gaming Bolt, Baldur's Gate 3 has a AAA budget and team, says developer. I really don't think you can make Baldur's Gate 3 without saying this is going to be a AAA game, it says executive producer David Walgrave. And when you're looking at Larian Studios, they've got 450 employees as of 2023. They've got 6 locations, the Divinity series and Baldur's Gate series. This is not a small company that cannot find a way to get split screen working, right? There are some people that still think Larian is a AA studio and not AAA. No, the studio has 450 employees and Baldur's Gate 3 has a big AAA budget. They are no longer a small indie studio, they are officially AAA. And to turn around and say that it's going to take, 6, 7, 8 months to try and get split screen to work is ludicrous. It's rubbish. There's no such thing. It is just air. The reality is they wanted to give PlayStation a timed exclusive. Whether this is because they want to become a PlayStation studio or they want to look good in Sony's eyes as the market leader is unknown. Or maybe they just have something against Xbox. Again, unknown. But it is pretty sad that they went down this route. I just personally don't believe it's got anything to do with split screen. The reality is, if you're looking on PCs with lower specs, they will probably work no problem. Specs less than what the Series S is actually offering on PC. So why can't the Series S do it? And like I said, if you need to reduce the resolution, good on you. Do it. But the drama just doesn't stop. And it's been going on for a few days now. But if we look at the actual numbers, you can see that as an all-time peak, the Baldur's Gate playing is at 709,000. 24-hour peak is the same as the all-time peak. And currently playing right now, and it's almost midnight here in the UK. And I know you've got different time zones in the US and whatnot. I'm just going by our time. 676,405 as of 31 minutes ago. This is crazy. The game is doing insanely well, and I'm really happy for Baldur's Gate. And this is just PC, right? On the 31st of August, this is coming out for PlayStation, so we may actually get an extra, 3 or 5 on top of what we have now. No, jokes aside. I'm hoping that the PlayStation fans who are, bigging up this game like the second coming of Jesus is going to basically go out there and actually pick this game up, because it seems to be doing the rounds. It seems to be quite popular. And based on all the talk from PlayStation fans, I'm expecting this game to get to a point of at least 500,000 in the first week. Maybe even, that's too low, the way they're hyping about it. Like I said, they're hyping it like it's the second coming of Jesus, so I expect it to do somewhere in at least 1 million units in the first week. Considering they have 40 million PS5s, 1 million really isn't that much to ask for, right? Based on the level of hype that they're showing, and the fact that they believe that this is going to be Game of the Year, the fact that they think that this is literally the best thing to come since sliced bread, and that they are using this as their gotcha moment against Xbox, they should show, Larian Studios, that PlayStation users do buy games and buy this game, and, thank the developers for their hard work. That is my opinion. But that is not the only topic we are talking about. We also have Killer Instinct. And so this one is actually really, really interesting. So they say, our friends at Iron Galaxy are back, and together we're bringing you Killer Instinct's free 10th anniversary update later this year, including a balance update, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for Series XX. More to come soon. And you see like some positive stuff over here from Paris and my good friend Ginger Prime. And here we go. Release this game on PlayStation, and you will see how much of a difference you will receive from fans. Actual gamers who support and buy games, not just waiting around for this game to be on a subscription service. Buddy, it's a free-to-play game. At least that's what I remember it being back on the Xbox One. Xbox has no games. Later, release this game on PlayStation. From... it seems like the moment Xbox gets an exclusive and Xbox gets a game, PlayStation fans are all over it, wanting that game to come to PlayStation. Like they are entitled to it. Like they have a God-given right to demand that that game come to their PlayStation so they can play it. If you really want to play it, there are multiple ways to play Xbox games. You can buy an Xbox. You can play them on PC if they're actually an Xbox Studio game, like Killer Instinct is. You can actually do one go further and get Game Pass if it's actually going to be on Game Pass and play it through there. You don't need to beg Microsoft or Microsoft Studios to actually bring a game from Microsoft's platform over to PlayStation. It's pathetic and it's needy, and no one needs that in their life, right? But it goes further, right? Just check this out. Killer Instinct on PlayStation, please. Killer Instinct on PlayStation 5, please, or any info. Need it for PS5. Man, if only this could be on PS5. Going to throw it on PS5 too? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. If you give something to Xbox, then maybe I can see Phil giving something back to, to Sony. But that's not going to be the case. This is another thing here. This is the one that we just read, the tweet. Release this game. Oh yeah, this is the one that I just read out. So, and as you can see here, just buy an Xbox. It's getting to the point where the moment Xbox gets an exclusive, it's the worst thing on the planet. No one can stand it. No one can stomach it. Everyone absolutely hates it, and they want that exclusive game to be put onto their platform. But not a single one of them are championing the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is not coming out on Xbox because of a BS reason like split screen, and in reality it's just a timed exclusive. None of them are championing the fact that Silent Hill is going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I don't care if it's timed or whatever. After a year, no one cares. I'll have played it on PlayStation or PC, and I'm done with it. Most of the people that do care about it may already have a PC, so they'll play it on there, or already have a PlayStation, and they'll play it on there. So even if it does come out on Xbox, the numbers will be dwindled. It's just a simple fact. That's just the way it works. But you don't see any of them championing that. All they want is those exclusive Xbox games to come over to PlayStation. It's hypocritical, it's pathetic, and the entitlement is real. And I think at some point they just need to grow up. Now, don't get me wrong, I see people on Xbox side asking for Spider-Man all the time and demanding that it gets put on Xbox. I don't think that's right. At the end of the day, Sony have purchased Insomniac Games. It is their studio. They also have the license to produce Spider-Man, which Microsoft was offered. Whether that information revealed about Spider-Man 2 is right or wrong is irrelevant. There's no concrete information, and as of right now, the only confirmed information is that Sony owns the license. So, outside of Sony fans, no one else is really entitled to that product. So, fair is fair. But sure, you got Xbox fans posting everywhere that they want Spider-Man to come over to Xbox. Bring back the glory days. But the level at which PlayStation fans are going and kind of insulting and attacking devs for not releasing the game on PlayStation, console warring is one thing between Xbox and PlayStation fans. You know what I mean? That's one thing. But to actually attack devs and turn around and tell them that, you're wasting your time releasing it on this, you need to do it here and Xbox, it's kind of sad. And I've only really seen that from one real fan base. Now, there are going to be outliers always, you're going to get outliers on Xbox side, you're going to get outliers on PlayStation side, but it's still sad to see that this happens. But whether you're on the Baldur's Gate side of the thing or Starfield side of the fence, it doesn't matter. Both of the games have their market. Both of the games are going to be amazing, and both are Game of the Year contenders. That's it. And whoever wins the Game of the Year, probably Hogwarts Legacy, it doesn't really matter, because as gamers this year, we have had the privilege of playing some of the best games in 2023. It's been a haven of amazing stuff. But to turn around and try and pit two giant games against each other in this way, especially when the majority of the player base isn't even gonna touch the game. I mean, I think someone showed me a picture of Baldur's Gate 2. It had 1,400 players on I think it might have been PlayStation 4. I think. I can't remember. But it had 1,400 players. It's sad. It's sad. It didn't even break 10K. It was pretty awful. But it is what it is. But Starfield will be a great game. I'm playing Starfield. I'm probably going to pick up Baldur's Gate now on PC, which means that Larian Games have lost my money when it comes to the Xbox, because I don't double dip. I do not double dip. And the fact that I can play it on my Steam Deck as well, and I'm hearing Steam Deck runs at 100 frames per second, is amazing, and it's got controller support, which is what I love. These developers are hurting themselves. Square Enix just reported 90%, drop in their net income. Operating income, whatever it was. Where they're spending too much money on producing games for one platform and not seeing the dividends. Well, if you release it on multiple platforms, you'll see your return. If you don't release it on multiple platforms, you're only getting one market. Regardless of how big or small it is, the other markets do bring in revenue. And this is just going to be the same thing. I don't see PlayStation having that big of a base on this, though I hope to be proven wrong. And I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I really hope that PlayStation gamers do go out and buy this on 31st and actually support the game so we can see a Baldur's Gate 4 in the future. But if the PC version is anything to go by, I think they've pretty much secured it. Right? That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It means the world to me and helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you in the next one. Remain legend.